Starting in the name of Allah, the most merciful, mighty and gracious to all. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. This is Adil Sabir here with the basic course of business ethics. Today we are going to start the main course of ethics. Before starting the lecture, I would like to recommend the two reference books for further studies. One is the Business Ethics, a Stakeholder and Issue Management Approach, and the second one is Business Ethics, Ethical Decision Making and the Cases, 8th edition. Most of the contents of the course outline are available in these two books. You just have to reference the books relevant to those topics. In the other subjects, I have uploaded the lectures, and most of the students, they have demanded that, sir, we are not able to pick the whole lecture in English, so try your level best to explain the concepts in Pashto as well. So because this is the first lecture relevant to business ethics, so inshallah I shall try my level best to explain the main concepts in English as well as in Pashto, because my main intentions are that the things should be clear enough to my students. So inshallah I shall try my level best to explain the concepts into Pashto as well. Now, before starting the lecture, let me give you the road map of the whole course. Road map simply means that what basically we are going to cover in the whole course of business ethics. Initially, the first part we will cover, that is the introduction and business ethics. What we will cover in this topic: introduction and business ethics. It is totally about the definitions of ethics. It will tell us, here we will discuss the nature of the ethics. Further, we will discuss the types of the ethics. We will discuss the different issues relevant to ethics. Upon completion of the first introduction or fundamentals of ethics, we will move to the next, that is nature of morality. Here we will discuss that what is morality, what are the different types of moralities, what are standards, what are the different issues or types of standards. After that, we will move to the next concern, that is theories of ethics. Theories of ethics simply means that the schools of thoughts, different philosophies about the ethics. Like for example, the normative theory, for example, the justice theory, the rights theory, the teleological theory, the deontological theories. There are different utilitarian theories. So there are so many theories. The thoughts of a school of thoughts we will discuss relevant to ethics here in the theories of the ethics. After that, we will discuss the CSR section of the course. CSR, simply abbreviated as corporate social responsibility. Corporate social responsibility simply means that those responsibilities of the organizations which having the positive impact tendency toward the society, or simply we will study the social responsiveness of the organizations in the society. After that, we will move to the next topic, that is stakeholder management approach. Stakeholder management approach, it is basically a method, a technique, that where we will discuss that what are the different types of stakeholders inside the organization, And within a system, stakeholders are connected directly or indirectly, so they have definitely some rights over the organization. How organizations are liable to protect their rights? So this whole theory is simply known as your stakeholder management approach theory. Then we will move to the next session, which is environmental issues, ethics and environment. It means that how companies, they are available in the market. Why they are available in the market? Because they are fulfilling the demands of the entire state. But on the other hand, companies clear having a negative impact, adverse impact over the society, over the environment. Like for example, companies, they are producing, they are generating the air pollution, the water pollution, the land pollution. So here in this section, inshallah, we will discuss the environmental issues. After that, we will discuss ethics and advertisement. Here we will discuss the different types of advertisement. We will discuss that what are the adverse advertisement, unethical aspects clear in the organization and their impact on the society. Upon completion of this section, we will move to the next, that is employee and employee ethical relationship. This is employer, not employee. It means employer and employee ethical relationship. Here in this section of employee and employer, we will connect, we will study that what are the basic rights of employee or employer, and what are the different rights of employee or employer. Means sanga employee pa employer money rights lari or sanga employer pa employee money rights lari. There are so many other topics as well, inshallah, when we will start our proper course. So we will discuss those clear during the lectures as well. As I told you that today, that is the first lecture which we are going to study. So in this lecture, lecture number 1, we are only going to discuss that what is ethics, what is the nature of ethics, and why we should concern with the study of ethics. मतलब दे लेक्चर के वो सिर्फ और सिर्फ मुंगो दा स्टडी को what is ethics देत ethics nature से दे और वाले मुंगा ethics study को. What is the reason? अब let's start from the first, that why we should study ethics. What is the reason? What study ko? Let's start from a scenario. This scenario will make your idea, inshallah, more clear. When we are talking about the human, so human is what? Human is a social animal. What is social animal? Social animal simply means that the animal having power to think, the animal having power to feel, the animal having power to understand. मतलब human चे कम दे अगा यो social animal दे चे अगा फहम लरी, अगा फिकर लरी, अगा सोच लरी. अब being as a social animal, we are definitely a member of a society. Why? Because we are living in a society. अब human चे कम दे दा यो society के ज्वंदुन के यो society की उसी. अब we know from the organization point of view, from the OB point of view, चे हर यो society चे कम दा आगा से moral standards लरी, आगा से norms लरी, आगा से values लरी, आगा से social अपने culture लरी. So being as a human, we have to respect to others. And how respect to others? It means that we are talking about the ethical aspect of the society. Being as a human, we have to respect to the values of the others. Being as a human, we have to respond to the ethical aspects of the norms of cultures. Like for example, I have two persons, Mr. A and Mr. B. Mr. A is living in a society. Mr. B is living in another society. The norms, the values, the ethics, the social norms, the culture of A's society is different as compared to B's society. So when Mr. A is into the society of, into the culture of Mr. B, So Mr. A must respond to according to the society of Mr. B, because there is a proverb that when in Rome do as Romans do. उस Mr. A च कम दे अगर खपल कल्चर की उसी अगर खपल नॉर्म सी, लेकिन Mr. B च कम दे सचुला अगर खपल सोसाइटी के उसी. Therefore we have to understand, we should know about the ethics. एथिक्स से दे एथिक्स सिर्फ और सिर्फ गुडनेस और बैडनेस एक्सप्लेन करी. आगा एक्शन कम गुड थी और आगा एक्शन कम बैड थी. नो आया यो सोसाइटी नॉर्म्स रूल्स कम थी आगा बल सोसाइटीज ना डिफरेंट थी. Like for example, take the example of Western society and take the example of Eastern society. जमंग चिकम Eastern society दा दलता fast food चिकम दे आखिर दूरा मतलब टेंडेंसी नश्ता दूरा पीकनेस नश्ता दे. हालांकि Western society के चिकम fast food दे आगे चिकम टेंडेंसी दा आगे चिकम पैशन दे, that is more as compared to Eastern society. नो आया उस ईस्टर्न सोसाइटी वाला दा मुंग नशु कवला चे मुंग दा हुए चेरा दा कम चे सासो मतलब फास्ट फूड है, इट इज बैड. नो, बिकॉज फास्ट फूड क्लियर दा चे दे दैट इज मोर एक्सेप्टेबल इन वेस्टर्न सोसाइटी बट इट इज लेस एक्सेप्टेबल क्लियर इन आवर सोसाइटी. देयर आर सो मेनी अदर इश्यूज. लाइक टेक द एग्जांपल ऑफ अफगानिस्तान, टेक द एग्जांपल ऑफ पाकिस्तान, टेक द एग्जांपल ऑफ जापान, एंड देन टेक द एग्जांपल ऑफ लेट्स सपोज अमेरिका. उस अमेरिकन सोसाइटी चे दे अगा पर इंडिविजुअलिज्म बेस मने फोकस के. हालांकि जमुन चिकम दे सोसाइटी चिकम दी लका जापान शो, पाकिस्तान शो, अफगानिस्तान शो, इंडिया शो वाला, श्रीलंका शो ला दा पर कलेक्टिविज्म मने मुंगा देर ज्यादा फोकस को. मतलब अगोई इंडिविजुअल थिंकर्स दी इंडिविजुअल चीज मने देर ज्यादा फोकस कई. हालांकि मुंग पर कलेक्टिविज्म मने देर ज्यादा फोकस को. मतलब वी आर मोर फैमिली ओरिएंटेड एंड दे आर मोर इंडिविजुअल ओरिएंटेड. It means that they have their own standards, societal standards, and we have our own societal standards. So ethics mungtas away, ethics mungtas sirf or sirf da way that what is the difference between the good action and what is the difference between the bad actions. So when we are living in a society, we have to act, we have to respond to that society. Therefore, we must have to know, being as a social animal, the ethics of that society. Hope inshallah a bit idea will be clear. Dena ilawa sangachi we are talking about the other fields of studies. Like suppose zama mastery ch kamada that is in human resource management, HRM ke makhbala mastery kar. Ab HRM is a diverse field, lekin when we are talking about the ethics is not a field, it's only a subject matter. Ethics ch kamde sechula that is not a limited, that is not a bound, it is not bound. Ethics is a philosophy. Philosophy simply means a concept, is it an idea, an approach. No, ethics your field nade मतलब दामुंगा HR या finance या marketing बशांते यो specific field तने शु bound को वाला. Ethics is diverse, it's a philosophy, it's a concept, it is applicable everywhere. मतलब marketing के हम ethics apply की, फाइनेंस के हम एथिक्स अप्लाई की, HRM के हम एथिक्स अप्लाई की, देना अलावा बायो के हम एथिक्स अप्लाई की, केमिस्ट्री के हम एथिक्स अप्लाई की, रिसर्च के हम एथिक्स अप्लाई की. सो इट मीन्स एथिक्स इज अ फिलॉसफी दैट इज एप्लीकेबल एवरीवेयर. सो देयरफॉर वी मस्ट हैव टू नो अबाउट द एथिक्स, वी शुड अंडरस्टैंड अबाउट द एथिक्स, दैट व्हाट इज हैपनिंग इन दैट एरियाज. सो देयरफॉर this slide is totally about the same concept which I told you. Chikura, when we are talking about the ethics, right and wrongness, to simply mean right and wrongness in medical concept, which is known as medical ethics. There will be a good or bad concept in bioethics. There will be a concept of professional ethics. There will be a concept of ethics of care. Sexual ethics. Matlab sexual ethics simply mean that injustice in terms of genders. I am male or female. जिस तरह से ज्यादती को न की. Something is, for example, giving to male, but the same thing is not giving to female. Like for example, promotion. अब आया because उनका वही होगा ना, genders are on the equal basis. So whatever we are treating to the male, we should treat to the female as well. अब suppose your organization दे, now your organization policy दादा, they should give promotion to the female, not to the male. It means that their orientation is more toward female, not toward male. So it means that is the sexual ethics. It explains the ethics about the sex, ethics about the gender. Simply gender discrimination. Then I love business ethics. The deeds of goods and bads within transactions. Simply stated, it is known as business ethics. Next, environmental ethics. Here it is. अब environmental ethics तो वही. Environmental ethics simply explains the ethics of the environment. چې آیا companies چې کوم دی د خپل state needs fulfill کوي. Aya, on the other hand, they are providing harm threats to the environment or not. Even they are protecting the environment or not. Simply. Then we will move to the virtue ethics. Then research ethics. That what are the ethics when a researcher is conducting a research? Normative ethics, applied ethics, religious ethics, and many more. So this slide simply says us that bounds of ethics. It means that ethics is not a subject, ethics is a philosophy. मतलब कि देशी नन ethics your field न दे, your subject न दे. Actually that is applicable everywhere. लेकिन रातकुन के वक्त के it is a possibility that ethics should be considered a proper field. There should be a proper department inside the organization in upcoming future. It can be a probability. Why should I study introduction to ethics? Again, if you notice on this picture, notasu tabo your idea ushi to what is happening in this picture. Katasu the picture ki like fikru ki, you will find out that some people, they are working in a social unit and they are interacting. This what is basically the logic behind this picture. The picture ma wali add kare. The picture ma zaka add kare de. This picture shows us that people, humans, employees, they are working in a social unit. Social unit here means I'm talking about a system, an organization. They are working in the form of groups. They are interacting. Definitely this social unit, this group will have some norms. People, employees should act according to those norms. Like suppose, your group de, अगर group your norm de, अगर group your value da. Value mean importance. Come you see the importance working. अब group importance से तो होता है honesty ला. अब it means that group has a value clear regarding honesty. So it means people should give more preference to the honesty, integrity, fairness. So therefore I told you that whenever humans they are interacting with one another, so they should be know about the ethics, they should know about the norms, that they should respect to others, that they should respect the norms of the other. So therefore we must have to understand the ethics. Hope inshallah a bit idea will be clear. Now what should be our aim? Our aim, our target should be that to forge the personalities that are of the same caliber as the technical knowledge and skills of the person. So, thus providing society with good individuals and professionals who are technically and morally prepared to place their knowledge at the service of the human person and the common good of society. The slide se what is the main idea of this slide? The slide way chukura zamung hadaf se de, zamung hadaf da de che organization should provide technical, knowledgeable and skillful person. मतलब organizations, companies, HR department che kam de aga che de human resources generate ki produce ki aga human resources che kam technically sound di and morally sophisticated di. Why? Reason. Let me give you an example. That's why your examples are explain koma what is happening practically and what is happening theoretically. Suppose masara do nafar di, Mr. A and Mr. B. Suppose I have two persons, Mr. A, two incumbents, Mr. A and Mr. B. Up suppose Mr. A is more technically sound as compared to Mr. B, while Mr. B is more morally sound. अब practically से पकड़ दे, practically दा पकड़ दे, practically बल्कि organization दा कई जो organization definitely Mr. A भी hire की because he is technically more sound as compared to Mr. B. लेकिन theoretically से पकड़ दे, theoretically दा पकड़ दे जो organization should hire Mr. B. Why? Because Mr. B is more ethically good as compared to person A, Mr. A. अब reason से दे reason दा दे जो organizations बुरा technicality technicality that can be definitely teach through training and development. लेकिन at this employment stage it is very difficult to teach someone clear about the ethics, to develop ethics in someone at the employment stage. So theoretically organization should hire clear more Mr. B because he is more good clear ethically, because at this stage, at the employment stage, that is difficult to the organization to create, to develop ethical standards within organization, within a person B. So therefore the aim of our system is, the aim of our, for example, this course is that organization that we should produce clear more technical as well as more morally sophisticated people to the society, to the organization as well. Hope inshallah a bit idea will be clear. Now another picture, student centered learning freedom. Students, if you notice, there are two hands, one is the palm and one is the punch. This punch that you come punch de, that is a teacher suppose, and this that you come palm de, this hand you come there, that is the student. What is basically the logic behind this slide? Dede shata logic se de, dede shata logic da de कि teachers come de, these are the main causes, these are the main reasons that they can give clear extreme to the students about the ethics. In other words, students come de agar teacherano na, teachers are acting as a role model. No students come de agar khapal teacher na learn kai. No the ethics come de da yo teacher de agar deliver kawale shi, agar transfer kawale shi generation to generation. What is basically the idea behind that? Look at the picture. Suppose that's a palm hand de, that is the student hand. Student put forward a question from the teacher. Ab that's a punch de, that is the teacher response. Us teacher response is very pathetic. That is aggressive de. Ab teacher is saying to the students that ta wali question kare de. Yeah, his response is very aggressive. अब स्टूडेंट्स चे दे खपल राइट यूज करे दे, लेकिन टीचर चे कम खपल अथॉरिटी दा अगर लगे मिस यूज कई. सो व्हाट विल बी हैपन? दैट इज गोइंग टुवर्ड अ नेगेटिव पिक्चर क्लियर ऑफ एथिक्स. मोर इन द फ्यूचर the students will learn an aggressive behavior from the teacher, and the student will definitely behave to the other students in his or her class because he got this thing from the teacher. मतलब नन का स्टूडेंट ता विनी चे आया जमा टीचर मा तरंगे अनएथिकल बिहेवियर शो कई नो सबा दागा स्टूडेंट चे कम दे दाब हम पल स्टूडेंटानो सरा अंदाज से दागा नेगेटिव रिएक्शन शो कई. सो देयरफॉर टीचर that they should use their power clear in a very legitimate way. That inside the organization teacher ta pakar de, ya inside the institute teacher ta pakar de, jo teacher so ki teacher your role model zan show ki, because teacher che de aga ethics transfer kawale shi to the generation to generation. Hope a bit idea will be clear. Now meaning of ethics. The word ethics comes from a Greek word that is etho. Ethos the way, etho character the way, etho attitude the way, etho behavior the way. According to Solomon, what is ethics? He simply said ethics is individual character and ethics is social norms, yeah, social rules. What is the main theme of this slide? Ethics today. Ethics today, ethics shows the character of someone. The character of someone means that how clear I am integral in myself, how I am honest in myself. Come you see ma de para positive de, or come you see ma de para negative de. Is it? That is simply known as character. Like for example, bribe, rishwat. If I am an honest person, so honest is a trait in my character. So definitely, ziche de the ma character chikam de agabu da bribe, rishwat chikam de abu next set kai. It means I am character-wise strong. So ethics is relative to the character of individual. Ethics is also relative to the attitude and behavior. What is the difference between attitude and behavior first? What is attitude? Gora, first I'm going to explain the attitude. Here it is, attitude. Attitude say the attitude is simply a tendency of thinking towards someone. Like suppose, Zama your teacher, the Mr. A, he taught me in the first semester, and he taught me very fruitful in the first semester. What happened at that time when he was teaching us in the first semester? I had a great mind set clear toward his teaching. अब now in the 4th semester दोबारा चले Mr. A मुंगता दोबारा teaching कई. अब in the 4th semester जिसे संगा के नुम ओगरमा चे Mr. A दोबारा मुंगता teaching कई, so definitely there will be a positive impact, a tendency of thinking of mind toward his teaching. जो first semester के खट teach करे रहे, no 4th semester के बाद subject तो मुंगता खट teach कई. अब that is known as the tendency of thinking toward someone. That is known as attitude. While the next is the behavior. Behavior simply means an action of a person. The reaction of an action is simply a behavior. That is simply called a behavior. Or a custom. Sangachi Wai Solomon. Custom. Yes, social rules. Yes, social norms. Social norms means that norms, the rules which are not in written form but that are acceptable in the society virtually. Like suppose Sanga. Zawayama Chizayo bill jama kawal warma. I want to submit a bill. Bank the chiladama no vinama that there is a long straight line. People are standing in that straight line. Up socially sapakar if I want to submit the bill, I must have to stand up at the end of the line. Lekin what happened? Your nafar chite agar rashi line ke akhira ki na udari or bilkul front talar jo bill jama kai. This action of a person clear that come late and move earlierly to submit the bill, is it acceptable? No. I don't think so. It is not acceptable. Wale che society da accept kai che akhira ki ragale no bai dada che akhira ki qatar ki udrega pakhpal nobat mani udrega. That is the social rule. It is not written anywhere, but that is acceptable within a society. This is known as the social rules. Up suppose there are thousands of examples. जैसे तासो class के वलाड़े में और तासो the teaching को is it? लेकिन suppose in front of you जैसे दे पर chair माने उधरे का मैं ब्याह तासो the teaching को में हालांकि गोरा chair माने उधरी दले में लेकिन जैसे तासो लगी teaching को में is it acceptable? लेकिन standing upon the chair, that is not acceptable within the class. Why? Because that is not clear ethics. So ethics is what? Ethics is simply the goodness. Ethics is simply the rightness of something. So ethics se bache ethics sirf aur sirf the human actions about the good and wrong. So ethics is the study of human actions about right, about wrong. That what are the actions that are right considered and what are the actions that are wrong considered. Like suppose tasu tawaiba pray 5 times a day. Pray 5 times a day. Is it a human action? Yes, 5 times a day, human action. So is it a good action? Yes, it is a good action because it is making a differentiation between the right and wrong, between good and bad. So therefore it is known as a good action. So ethics is the study of a human action which basically deals with the rightness and wrongness. Hope inshallah a bit idea will be clear. Now I have taken some definitions of ethics. There are so many definitions of ethics, but all the definitions having the same connotation, the same summary. The first, that is, ethics is the branch of philosophy that studies free human acts from the point of view of their moral values in the relation to men's ultimate end. Ethics is also termed as the moral philosophy. It involves systematizing, defending and recommending concept of right and wrong behavior. Up defending and systematizing, it means ethics say ethics your individual, your human belief de. The belief chikam the sahiyam ki deshi, the belief galatam ki deshi. But clear try to justify that belief. Like suppose zawayama che the come che Big Bang theory da. Teshura da galata da. Up it is my own belief. Might be it should be or it could be wrong. It could be right. Teshura lekin zama belief se the zama belief da way che da sahi de. I say another example zawayama che I want to pass the paper through cheating. The cheating through mane paper pass ko walwada. Ab it is my own belief. Definitely matlab is logic, matlab is reasoning वगैरह ही. लेकिन that से what I am doing, I am basically defending the concept about the right and wrong. So ethics is the concept of someone's right and wrong. Another example, another definition. Ethics is the systematic study of human actions from the point of view of their rightness or their wrongness as a means of the achievement of men's ultimate happiness. लेकिन दलता men's ultimate happiness doesn't mean कि बिल्कुल happiness provide. Like for example, यो killer दे, यो serious killer, murderer. आखा खल को murder की, आखा खल को murder वाली की, आखा खल को murder दे पारा की चाहिए ता satisfaction मिला भी. Like for example, we have a serious killer who is murdering the people. And why he is murdering the people? Because he thinks that this thing, murdering of the people, is providing satisfaction to that person. This satisfaction is definitely good, provide happiness to that person, but it is not good for the society. So ethics is what? Ethics is definitely the right and wrong actions about the people, is it? But those actions are definitely should have impact, positive or negative toward the society as well. So therefore, it simply says that ethics is the study of human acts from a moral perspective. There are some more definitions as well. You can definitely study these definitions having the same concept, same meaning. The last, the study of the moral goodness or badness. Goodness mean good, is it? Or badness mean bad. Goodness mean right and badness mean wrong. The study of the moral rightness and wrongness of specific human action from the perspective of the first moral principle. Like for example, Zawayama bad barking, ghaibat kawal. Bad barking in a human action, is it a right action? No, it is not a right action. Why it is not a right action? Because it has clear a negative connotation as well. It has a negative impact as well. So ethics is the study of the human action that make a differentiation between the right and wrong. So that is simply known as the ethics. Hope inshallah a bit idea clear. This is the last slide. Some technical topic that affect people. The other topic nadi, the sirf ma yo idea ta thula dar kadida che ethics field ki, because as I told you that ethics is a vast field. Now they ke different aspects the human relevant, okay, ethical relevant. Like for example, rights, adoption, affirmative actions, genetic engineering, global warming, alcohol, yeah, like alcohol sahi de, alcohol galat de, then human rights, the bioethics, the biological weapons, the capital punishment. So that is a huge field of ethics. As I told you that ethics can't be bound. Ethics is a philosophy that is applicable everywhere. So today we have discussed a bit about the ethics. Inshallah, in my upcoming lecture, I shall try my level best to explain the things more easy way, in the more easy way, inshallah. Thank you so much.